Welcome to the Imperium Forex daily video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. Starting with the Australian dollar, well, yet another attempt to restore its bullishness fails towards that 75.85 resistance. As you can see here, the market posts a long-legged doji and then falls away. Now the doji represents indecisiveness. So from the rejection, the market is now looking towards the support at 75.20. Into today, the release of the Australian Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, is expected, forecast is at 0.6%, with the previous release coming in at 0.5. So do keep an eye on that at 11:30's release. Also this week we have the RBA Governor Phil Lowe to speak on the 27th at the Marimbi Global Cities Dialogue dinner. So keep an also watch out for that on Thursday. Now a break beneath 75.20 will give further scope to the downside and look towards 74.70 with lower expectations towards 74.25, 30 and reassess from there. If we do see a figure coming out at 11:30 that could send the Aussie up towards that 85 level, I do expect to see further supply to increase and firmer resistance in at 76.50. The weaker US dollar story in the last 48 hours has actually put further risk towards the upside, however still contained at the 109.50-55 resistance. Into this week, do take note that we have the ECB's meeting on the 27th. The market will keep a close watch to President Mario Draghi's press release, as the recent delivery was arguably a dovish account in the early part of the press conference. However, at the question and answer, Draghi was a little bit more hawkish towards these answers. Now, if the US dollar does maintain its weakness, we could see a break from 109.50 up towards the target of around 110.60-70. But at this stage, we are getting a little bit overheated on the technicals. So we could see another rejection from there and look towards the downside that comes in at 108.70 minor and then 108.15 for the next target and reassess from there. The dollar yen story, well, impressively rallies further in the last 24 hours. And as you can see here, the market is currently challenging the resistance towards 111.40.55. Now, as you can see here where I've highlighted it, was rejected. And do take note that the fact that if we get another challenge towards this region, could see another rejection. And if so, then we'd see the market retreat back towards the support region that comes in at 110.50-60 and reassess from there. Now a break above 111.55 will give further upside potential and look towards a target of 111.95.05 and even higher to 112.80. So a very bullish trigger level. So do keep note of that if we do break it. Well, the Great British Pound, since the surge last week of 400 points, the market has gone sideways and given little indication away to the direction. However, the 4-hour time frame is still holding to a negative outlook. Into the next 24 hours, the market may trade again in a 27.70 to a 28.50 range. Now, a break beneath 65 on 127 will give further scope towards the downside of 127.25. Any advances, I still expect to see a cap holding around 128.95.05. Looking at the gold price action, a very heavy sell-off overnight, and now the market looks towards, as you can see here, the objective of 112.54. Now, in view of the recent weakness, this target will probably hold on the initial challenge, but if breached, we'll see further extension to the downside to 12.42. Resistance on the day comes in at 12.66 to 12.70. And to wrap up with silver, well, also took a bit of a hit to the downside. As you can see here, a very heavy candle after 7 executive days. The market has actually nearly reached its objective of 17.30.45. Now, although we may see demand from this level, if breached, would give further scope to a target of 16.80. But the indicators are getting a little bit to the low side. So we could see short covering from there. Now resistance comes in roughly around this region, as you can see here, of 1775 to about 85. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, look out for the intraday report, and I hope you have a great day.